that's the part we're going to get into next, the light and darkness of female nature. Because there's some elements that you really need to understand, fellas. Coming back to the basics. I've talked about who you may have been and the archetypes that you may have occupied, stages in life in your development as a man that would leave you to be someone to be cheated on. The why and with. Well, with is that the light and dark facets of female nature need to be satisfied. So the light of female nature, look at it this way. Everything you know about female ways, female nature, women more broadly said, on public display. This is the light side. So they try to say toxic. I don't mean by they, anybody, but sometimes it's said toxic. I prefer to look at it as immature, and that's masculine or feminine energy, but you're talking about a pure element. Masculine is pure, feminine is pure. There's no toxicity. There's a lack of it. There's an immaturity of it. There's a light and a dark, but the element itself, God is not good, bad, right, wrong. God is love. Energy, electricity, it's power, it's energy. There's a light and a dark to it. The light of feminine, publicly on display, what is expected by the public. It prioritizes acceptance and external approval and validation. Now this ties back in with something very interesting. Remember what we said, the first point that you got to understand is female nature and hypergamy. If female nature first wires, like the laws of fucking AI type shit, women are wired to prioritize security and survival. That is hypergamy. Well, at the same time, what is publicly displayed prioritizes acceptance and external approval validation. So what does that mean? Fellas, you have to understand the experience of a woman to understand female nature. From the time of birth, while she does get that value just by God, the beauty she inherits, as well, she's under the pressure. Pressure develops the diamonds, the free value of that beauty. The pressure of her external approval and validation. The church, her family. Everywhere in life, there is an expectation for female nature to show up in a certain way, and that is the light that everyone speaks to. That's the Disney princess. That's all the fairest maiden. That's the damsel in distress. That's everything positive and good about female nature. It's on public display. It prioritizes being accepted. That's our human nature as well. We all want to be accepted because if you're ostracized, you die. Well, for women, survival in isolation is a lot less likely because of their physical strength, the biology of it. So with that natural balance, hypergamy, what is most prioritized for women, feminine, is security, acceptance, validation, and approval externally. They have to abide. They have to play along. They're under that pressure. I want you to keep that in mind. What's in the light also has the dark. Highlights her positive and desirable traits, the things that you want in a woman. Why does she play into daddy's little girl? Why does she use a soft voice? Why does she get the big doe eyes? Why does she be more feminine? We like it. We love it. It's part of it. It's not a disguise or anything. And that's the light of female nature. It's in their best interest. And I'm talking to your daughters. I'm talking to your mom. I'm talking to your girl. It's female nature. The same shit would be in you if it was socially accepted in the world. It's not, so it's not there. It's dictated by the community and individually unable to be manipulated. What does that mean? Sounds complicated. Again, the world of women, society, rules, laws. Why do you think the feminist conversation started? There were points, their education, access to finances, credit, permissions in society, under the pressures of society, dictated by the community. What have we seen? Braveheart, kings of another land, you have to give off the dowry of your wife and that keeps peace in the land. Whatever the society dictates is the pressure that female nature is under. We don't really think about shit like that anymore. It's kind of the same way that men going to battle, the cannon fodder for society. What it took for us to get here, that inhumane shit that still exists, war still exists, but it's much different than what it used to be, just worldwide. But from that context, that's the same old antiquated practice for masculine. On the other side, for feminine. Women used to be property, quite literally, just in exchanges of whatever traditions for the all of time. Again, sacrifice parts of humanity as we live and grow. The point being that with that, these are the light elements of female nature. These are the things that are out of her control, designed by community. When the laws get passed is what they can do with their body. That's why the protesting. That's why all the political upheaval is, because community dictates what is acceptable. Because if you need to be accepted by society, then the rules of society, we know the cycles, we know these conversations, what they actually mean. Well, if you think about who has to live under that, so let's flip it. Let's look at the dark side of female nature. What is in the shadow? This is privately held. This is behind closed doors. This is what they don't want you to know, what they don't speak about. And here's the kicker. I'm not just talking about women as a whole. I'm not even just talking about women. The shit gets deep. Her own thoughts, right? This is what she privately holds to herself. This is what she can't share to the world. You heard about that pressure that the very society has her under. Again, we're talking about who and why they cheat. Female nature, hypergamy. I'm giving you the blueprint to the game. This is how these human beings have to go through life. That's why they're susceptible. That's why there is no perfect woman. That's why you got to remove these illusions, putting them on a pedestal and all this other shit, just to understand the other side of a human being going through their side of the coin and their shit. I'm making no excuses, but understand the game for yourself. Understand the psychology. We like to think through things, and just because they feel their way through things, it occurs to us as it doesn't make sense and we can't understand. If you logically understand how feelings work, if you logically understand what a human being has to navigate, it's easy to understand how, what, and why they do what they do. It doesn't make it any better, but on the other side of the coin, it doesn't make it any better for the things that we do. It's all just a dance. The dark side of this femininity is privately held behind closed doors, trapped in their mind, trapped among women, because women understand it. Women are under that pressure. Women are living through it as well. So these are the things, the old heads, the nice guy, all these guys I talked about up here, getting cheated on, the sugar daddies, the betas, they don't have access to this conversation. When you talk about female nature, when you talk about understanding women, that's the confusion in just be yourself. But if you're not a mature, grounded, masculine man, a mature, grounded, masculine man understands women. So the just be yourself is in context of be my goddamn self and let them get a vibe and enjoy that shit, because I'm a masculine man. It changes how everything looks. So if you understand female nature and if you understand the dark side, that's why it's privately held, because if you know what a woman has to go through, you know what a woman will show you. Because when you show her the unabashed, unapologetic freedom and expression of your masculine, to be grown, to be sexy, to be talking about the all of everything, that's what she follows and fits into, because she doesn't want the judgment. She has to prioritize her female nature. She cannot publicly show, this is me. She can be rejected. She can be ostracized. She cannot be safe and secure, which is her priority. So these privately held thoughts, the dark side of female nature, prioritizes self, balances her suppressed expression. Why do they cheat? Because they have to suppress so much of themselves. Then guess what? Talk to the feminine. It's a story. It's a love triangle. It's what they can't have. It's the irresistible. It's the temptation. It's the forbidden fruit. Now it's even more delectable. All those feelings. And that shit will drive any human being. Remember, just like a child, if it's no governance of the emotion, you gotta act. It's only human nature, female nature. This is the dark side. All those things that have always been suppressed. The dark elements of female nature, it disguises her negative, superiority, MVP, ego-driven traits. This is truly the dark side of female nature. It's not the polite princess. It's the who does this bitch think she is? She better put some respect on my name. Those things that she can't say, the things that she can't let be known. Why do you think women behave catty? Female communication is indirect. Why do you think they are masters of being mean girls? This is the dark side of female nature. This is what you can't see. But when they say, I understand women, I know women, she's reading the dark side of female nature. And all these guys up here, the sugar daddy, the old head, the beta, the nice guys, they don't see what's in the dark. Nobody's turned on that light to make them aware, to illuminate. They don't understand. They don't know the conversations. Women know the conversations, which is why she knows women. Mature, grounded men know women, which is why they know how to read it. And that's why I'm putting you onto game. Her ego, how she really feels, that's why the real talk. because the nice guy won't insult her ego, doesn't want to jeopardize her ego. The mature, grounded, masculine man doesn't give a fuck. She's another human being. Just like I'll respect, but not give a fuck about somebody else's ego, not pedestalizing that woman to poke back at her ego. That turns her on. That's exciting. That's not a man that she can control. That's not a nice guy. It's not a simp. Oh shit, a MGM is present. This is why they act right. It's all in response to us. I told you that. So the dark side of female nature, openly known by those in the know. And with that, it curates a social hierarchy. So those men that I talk about, they're on the bucket list. These are last resorts. These are just get by. These are security blankets, warm blankies to snug up to. That's it. This is why and who she will cheat on, because those men don't give her what she needs.